Welcome to Change Your Story, the podcast that helps women build a fit mind, a fit body, and a fit life from the inside out.
I'm your host and transformation coach, Hannah Dawson. I'm a personal trainer, nutrition educator, and mindset mentor, and I am here to help you feel strong, confident, and free in your body, not by starving, shrinking, or punishing yourself, but by training with a purpose, eating with a purpose, and having faith through the process so you can change the way you see yourself forever. Inside this podcast, we break free from diet culture, perfectionism, and all the stories that have held you back. We rewrite the new ones rooted in truth, strength, and self-love. You will hear real talk, faith-fueled encouragement, proven fitness and nutrition strategies, and the mindset tools you need to stay consistent, stay focused, and believe in yourself again. If you are ready to stop starting over, build a life you love, and finally change your story, you are in the right place. Let's build a fit mind, a fit body, and a fit life. Let's rewrite your story. What is up, my girlies, my ladies? Welcome back to the Change Your Story podcast. I'm so excited to be here with you today, in your heart, in your ears, in your mind, the voice that you are going to listen to for the next 20 to 30 minutes. I just want to say thank you for sharing your time with me. For all of you that are new, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Everything I talk about will always be in the show notes, all the links, everything. All my returning listeners, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I am so grateful to be able to share messages, lessons, education that has transformation that has really helped me in my life, and I hope that this message impacts your heart and your mind too. So let's just get into it today. Today we are continuing on a series on self-love, and today we're talking about belief systems and who taught you how to be you. This one, I keep saying on every episode, this is my favorite one. This whole topic honestly is my favorite because it's, again, coming from a personal transformation. And I know the power of what we're talking about. So if you are at home, wherever you are listening, you may want to come back and take notes. If you are at home, have your journal, have something to write these things down because they're just too powerful not to. Here's something that I'm going to start with. Okay, it's going to be a question that you can ask yourself. What if the reason that you react the way you do is not because you are broken, but because you are programmed? Stay with me. We've been building on this. In episode 1, we talked about awareness. You can't change a relationship that you are not aware of, right? You can't build self-love without self-relationship. In episode 2, we talked about what happens when discomfort hits. Do you tap in or do you tap out? If you are listening to this for the first time, I would definitely go and listen to those episodes as each one builds on the next. And today we're going to go a little bit deeper and we're going to ask the questions. If you tap out, if you spiral, if you over control, if you shut down, if you avoid, if you numb, where did that come from? You didn't just wake up at 5 years old and decide, I'm going to struggle with my body. I'm going to be anxious. I'm going to sabotage myself. I am going to fear money. I am going to believe I am not disciplined. You didn't choose those beliefs. You inherited them. They were programmed into you. Your identity, this is so powerful. Your identity was being formed before you were even conscious enough to question it. And if we're going to talk about self-love, I mean the real self-love, we have to examine the beliefs that built you. Are you ready? This is what I had to do too. I want to talk about how you were conditioned. We're all conditioned from the environments that we are born into. We're molded. You were programmed. You absorbed what was normal. You absorbed what was rewarded, what was punished, what was praised, what was shamed, what was silent. You formed beliefs around your body, food, money, love, success, conflict, emotions, self-worth, discipline, rest, what was meant to be good. So let me ask you a question. What was celebrated in your house? Was it achievement? Was it sacrifice? Was it shrinking? Was it toughness? Was it being quiet and not causing problems? Let me ask you another question. What was criticized? Was self-love and self-focus selfish or sinful? Was emotional expression dramatic? Was rest lazy? Was strength too much? Here's the thing, you didn't consciously choose these beliefs. They were repeated around you until they felt true. And here's the thing about repetition, what gets repeated long enough feels like truth, feels like facts. Here's the thing about identity is formed by beliefs. Beliefs become our thoughts. Thoughts become our feelings. Feelings become behavior. Behavior becomes identity. Behavior will always follow your belief. I'll say that again. Behavior will always follow belief. I've said this too. You don't default, you don't rise to your goals. You default to your belief systems. That's why a lot of the time you feel like you sabotage yourself. You're like, what's going on? Why do I do this? It's because you have an undercurrent belief system that says that you are not worthy, or the things that I just listed out that were programmed into you. Your behavior will always follow your belief. If you believe, I'm not disciplined, I always fail, I'm anxious, I'm bad with money, women like me don't get ahead, that's just how I am, that's just the way things are, you will always act in alignment with that belief. And here's the thing, it's not because you lack willpower, it's not because you're weak, it's not because you're incapable, it's because your nervous system has learned to trust what is familiar, even if what is familiar isn't good for you and serving you. Because familiar to your body feels safe, even if it keeps you stuck. I know we talked about inner dialogue. It's also the voice in your head. It's the conversations you have that are subconscious and you're not even aware of the conversations until you start listening to your inner dialogue. I want to say something. Those voices in your head, they didn't just show up out of nowhere. It was formed somewhere. It was shaped by what you grew up around, by what was normal, by what was modeled, by what was praised, by what was criticized, by what felt safe, by what didn't. Was love conditional in your home? I want to ask you that. Did you grow up with love that was conditional? Did you have to achieve to feel seen? Was appearance talked about constantly? Or was it criticized constantly? Was money always stressful? Was self-focus encouraged or called selfish or sinful? The way you speak about yourself today, I want you to realize, has a history. That voice has a backstory. And when you understand where it came from, you can stop attacking yourself for having it. I want to be clear, this is not about blaming our parents or attacking your upbringing, not at all. And it's not about rejecting your culture or your faith, okay? Let's just put that out there. I just want you to have an open heart and open mind, okay? Like I said, the nervous system, if it feels attacked or something is going against, deep-rooted beliefs that we have, even if they're not true or good for us, can make us close off. I just want you to have an open mind and open heart, okay? Just receive this message. Just think about it. Because here's the thing, it's about creating awareness, right? We can't change something we're not aware of. We can't heal something without feeling first, and we can't feel something that we're not aware that is going on. Your story has been shaped by your family, by culture, by religion, by trauma, by society, by generational patterns. And awareness creates clarity and creates choice. And choice is where freedom begins. Here's the thing, you don't change your beliefs by forcing them, right? We can't just force ourselves. Like I said, there's so many things that play here. You change your beliefs by questioning them. You just question them. Where did I learn this? Who modeled this? Is this actually true? Is this belief aligned with the woman I am becoming? You know, if I wasn't afraid, would I still believe this? Here's the thing. You're allowed to question. This is the part that most people don't talk about. We're not allowed to question. We're told to sit down, shut up, for most of our lives, maybe not in that context, but in that energetic feeling, right? We're told you just don't question. There's some things you don't question. But here's the thing. You are allowed to choose what you want to believe and what you want to think. You are unique. You are different. Nobody has created another one like you. This is you. Nobody can tell you how to be you, right? We're not sheep. Here's the thing though. Here's the thing, and something really important that I really want to share is when you start questioning your beliefs, okay, and this is something I personally went through. I had to start questioning, you guys have, if you've been following me for a long time, change your story. That is something that literally I didn't know I had the ability to do. And when I did, it was like such a radical transformation shift. I realized that the story that was playing in my mind was the thing that was keeping me stuck. So no matter how much I changed outside circumstances, I never felt different. I always felt like I was being pulled and controlled until I realized it had nothing to do with what I was changing or how perfect I was making things on the outside, but everything to do about on the inside. And so when I started going on this self-love journey and healing myself and starting to change my story, it had to go even deeper. And so I'm going to say what I had to do, and we all have to do. You have to be willing to question everything. That means your traditions, generationally traditions that you do, why do you do them? Your religion, or maybe lack of religion or faith. It's okay to question your culture, your family's patterns. What was the thing that was, this is just how we do it type of, mantra? And you don't question these with disrespect. This isn't to be disrespectful. It's not to rebel for the sake of rebellion, right? This is to create awareness. Because just because something was passed down doesn't mean it is aligned. Just because something is quote unquote normal doesn't mean it's healthy. Just because something runs in your family doesn't mean it's genetic. Sometimes it's not genetics. Sometimes, most times, it's habits, it's environments, it's repetition. If everyone in your family struggles with weight, but everyone in your family eats the same way, moves the same way, handles stress the same way, that's not destiny. That's not genetics. That's a pattern. If diabetes runs in your family, but so does emotional eating, alcohol, sugar-heavy holidays, stress, you have to ask yourself, is this DNA or is this tradition? We repeat things, ladies, without questioning them. We have to learn to question. Why? We have to learn to question. I heard this funny story. Listen to this. It was a story about a woman who at every Christmas cut off the ends of her ham at Christmas. And, someone asked her, well, why do you do that? Well, because my mom did it. Okay, well, let's call your mom and ask her why she did it. And they called her mom and asked why she did it. And she said, because my mom did it. And then finally someone called and asked her mom why she did it. And she said, because the pan was too small. That's it. And it's pretty funny to think about. Sometimes we don't question the things that we're doing. We think it's tradition, but at the beginning of it, if we go back and back and back and we start questioning, we realize it doesn't make sense, right? That what was once a small pan and that's all that person could afford, we have bigger pans. We have a bigger life. You have a bigger plan for your life. So what you're trying to, mold into your life the way that maybe traditionally it worked one way or was done that way because there was a lack of something, so to speak, you're trying to still play small in something that is meant for you to be bigger. And so, we can do this with everything in our life. I just thought that's such a good example. Like the pan was just too small, but they kept repeating cutting off the ends of the ham because they thought it was tradition, and it had nothing to do with tradition. It had to do with they didn't have a big enough pan at that time in their life, at that era, and then it gets repeated. And it's just funny. And so we can do this with everything. We can repeat that money is hard, marriage is hard, loving yourself is prideful, rest is lazy, alcohol is how we relax, we're just big boned, women in this family always struggle. And here's the thing, we never stop to ask, who decided that? Is that actually true? Or is that just familiar? Maybe in your house, it was shameful to like yourself. Maybe putting yourself first meant you were selfish or sinful, or you would go to hell. Maybe looking your best meant you were vain. Maybe questioning your religion meant you were rebellious. Maybe drinking was normal. Maybe being overworked was praised. Maybe burnout was a badge of honor. But here's the most powerful part. At any moment, you can choose differently. You can say, this pattern stops with me. Here's the thing. I am 16 years clean and sober. I come from a generation on both sides of my mom and my dad that were never together, by the way. I was a product of a affair, one-night stand. They both came from struggle, from addiction, crazy amounts of addiction. And it kept getting passed on. Even my brothers and sisters, my uncles, addiction, died of addiction. My mom still struggles with addiction. My siblings, some of them really struggle with addiction. I had to break that pattern. I had to break that and go, this is not what I want moving forward with generations. I don't want to be that person. And neither did my husband. My husband, same thing. We both have it on both sides of our family. And we had to be willing to question, and we had to be willing to stop that and not pass that on. You see, we have to be willing to love ourselves enough to say this pattern stops with me. This belief is not getting passed down. This addiction is not getting normalized in my house anymore. This body shame is not going to become my daughter's or my son's inner voice anymore. You do not have to burn everything down, okay? But you have to be willing to ask, does this serve the woman I am becoming? The generation I am leading? Because if you don't start questioning these beliefs, you will repeat them, and repetition becomes identity. Beliefs are practiced thoughts. I will say those two things again. Your repetition, the things that you repeat, will become part of your identity and your children's identity. Your beliefs are just practiced thoughts. So, if they're just practiced thoughts, they can be replaced. I know something that shifted everything for me. I was doing Louise's, I've done so many books by Louise Hay. She's just really impacted me. But she said this one thing, that is that a belief is just a thought, and a thought can be changed. That beliefs are not cemented, but I grew up feeling like they were cemented until I realized that they weren't. That when we change our beliefs, we can change our identity. And so for the next 24 hours, I want you not to try to fix anything. Don't rewrite anything. Don't force positivity. I just want you to notice. Notice the beliefs that you have. It could be the smallest thing. You go to eat something and then you have a negative voice. You look at yourself. It could be about money. You look in your banking app going to buy something. It could be about movement. It could be about the way someone looks at you. What are the thoughts that are going on in your head? That will be a key detail to your belief system and how you believe about yourself. Not so much about the circumstances or the facts, but about what is going on internally. Notice phrases that you repeat. Notice maybe things that you say, that's just how I am, or that's just the way it is, or notice your language of how you speak. Sarcasm, anger, sadness, negativity. There's ways that it comes out. Ask yourselves when this happens, who taught me this? Where did this come from? Remember, we're just building awareness, because awareness is the beginning of rebuilding your relationship. We have to become aware. And so that is your homework for the next 24 hours, just to observe yourself, your relationship, your thoughts about your body, thoughts about relationships with others, thoughts about your relationship to money, thoughts about your relationship to your body, thoughts about your relationship to food, thoughts about just your relationship to life itself. I want to say this, and I want you to hear me. You are not broken. There is nothing wrong with you. You are so worthy of having everything that you've ever wanted, and you have those wants for a reason. Here's the thing though. Your beliefs were learned, the ones that are not serving you. Your patterns were practiced. They are years and years of programming. But here's the thing with patterns and programming. Anything that can be learned can be unlearned. Anything that can be practiced can be replaced. Self-love isn't surface level. It's rebuilding your belief system. It's choosing what shapes you from here forward. It's understanding you have the choice to choose differently. That's what it is. It's deciding that you are going to choose a new belief system. And this is episode 3 of our self-love series inside the Change Your Story podcast. If you haven't listened to episode 1 and episode 2, go back. We are building this step by step. That's how relationships work. We can't skip the steps. Remember, the only way out is in. But you have to be willing to go in. You have to be willing to feel. You have to be willing to question. Here's the thing. If you are ready, if you're like, I am ready to choose differently, if you are ready to do this work in real time and not just hear it and let it go, because here's the thing, transformation has to have action behind it. We can't just listen. We have to immediately take action on what we've learned. Immediately. Go move your body, write things out. Put into practice this self-relationship right away. Do something right now that activates it. And I promise the next step will show. This is the thing. I have created the Fit Club app. This is a self-relationship app. This is a space and a place where we practice how to have a fit mind, a fit body, and a fit life. This is where we build ourselves, our minds, our body, our life. Like I said, fit mind is always first. It's foundational. This is a space and a place where women stop starting over. You don't have to do this journey alone. That's why I've created this space and this place. It's an app that has all your devotionals, your journals, mindset coaching, connection. It has self-love, personal growth book club. You have workouts, Pilates, weight training, a huge workout library. You have tons of programs. You have nutrition, meals, nutrition education, blogs. It is a space for you to build a relationship with your mind, your body, and your life. Before you go, I want to connect with you. If this episode resonated, tell me. I want to know. You can message me, you can tag me on social media, you can share your breakthrough, you can tell me what shifted for you. This is my heart. This is what, lights me up. So don't be afraid to reach out and let me know. Tell me what you noticed about doing this work. Tell me what beliefs that you're questioning. And last thing before we go, this is my only ask too, is if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, it would mean the world to me if you would rate the show. You just go to the homepage. It takes 2 seconds. Scroll to the bottom. You'll see the stars. Hit the 5 stars. If you want to leave a review, that even helps the show get found more so that other women just like you that need this message will find the podcast, because that's how the podcast works. The more reviews, the more ratings, the more shares helps they start showing it so other women just like you find it. And when you share it on social media and you tag me, other women see that as well. So share this with 3 friends, tag me on social media, leave me a review. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next episode, which is episode 4. We have 2 more episodes in the self-love series, and the next one I'm very excited. See you next week. Bye for now.